Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. It's July 17th, and it's Kelly. Hey, how are you? Subscribe if you want, and then that way YouTube knows that you guys like me reading books to you. I love reading books to you. Today is chapter 2 of Clementine and the Spring Trip. Actually, chapter 3. I already have 1 and 2 before here. So this is chapter 3 of Clementine and the Spring Trip by Sara Pennypacker. Chapter 3. From the back, my mom still looks like my mom, but from the front, these days, she looks like a pear, which is lucky for her because I am even better at drawing fruit than people. When I got home from school Monday afternoon, she looked so round that I grabbed my sketchbook to make a picture. I drew a floating pear and then drew overalls on it. Then I put my mom's head on the stem. I added arms and legs, and then I erased the leaf coming off of her shoulder. And here's a picture of that. Oh my gosh. She started with the pear and then erased the leaf. And then the page before shows her mom. That's her real mom. When I showed the drawing to my mother, she went into her bedroom to look at herself in the mirror, and I heard her sigh a couple of times. You're right, she said when she came back. I look like a pear. That's how good of an artist I am. In my drawings, people even know what fruit they are. My mom lowered herself onto the couch. She patted her belly, which looked like it had a watermelon strapped to it, and she sighed again. I miss my waist. I looked at my drawing, and then I looked at my mom's belly, trying to figure something out. Mom, where did all your guts go? Like your stomach or your lungs? My mom laughed. Oh, everything's still in there, she said. The baby does make things a little bit crowded, though a little squashed. And it's a good thing skin is so stretchy, because this little guy or girl is still growing. I erased the clogs from my mom's feet and drew on her feet her favorite shoes, green, sparkly dragonfly high heels, which she can't wear anymore because of having pregnant feet. Then I put down my pencil. I still can't decide what I want it to be. If it's a boy, then there will be 3 people on the boy team, but it won't just be you and me anymore. I don't know which is better, Mom. What do you mean? You think there are teams in this family? Of course, you and me, and Dad and Watercress. First of all, honey, your brother's name is not Watercress. And second of all, is that really how it feels to you? That we're on different teams, honey? Well, I said slowly. Suddenly, I didn't know if I did or didn't anymore. Mom rolled over on the couch to face me. Maybe you could think of our family as one team together, she said. But we're not the kind of team that's against anybody. She raised herself up. And it's the same for all people, she said, her voice getting higher. There's no us against them. We're all of us. We're all them. I scrambled to my feet. When my mom gets like this, my dad calls it going crunchy. He says it's something he really likes about her, that she cares so much about things being fair and right. But I have noticed that he does the exactly same thing. Let me just show you a picture of her when she's going crunchy. So I noticed that he does the exact same thing I do when she starts going crunchy, which is get out of the room. But before I could escape all the way, she asked me a good question. Clementine, can you think of a single reason girls and boys would be on different teams? I turned at the doorway. Don't you think all people want the same things, she went on, boys and girls? I'm talking about big things, the basics, like freedom and the right to have a good place to live. You mean like a nice home, Mom? No, I mean a nice planet. Like a nice, but sure, like a nice home too. Clean and safe and comfortable. Do you think boys and girls are on different teams about wanting that? Or how about the chance to grow up to be whatever you want to be? Like the chance to be a musician or a carpenter or a nurse. It shouldn't matter if you're a girl or a boy for any of that, should it? I sighed and I sat down on the arm of the couch. This was going to take a while. And since everyone wants to eat food, don't you think boys and girls should help prepare it? We're not on different teams about that, right? Thinking about food made me remember about Thursday and how bad it was going to be to have to eat with the fourth graders. My mom was wrong that people weren't on different teams against each other. The fourth graders and the third graders sure were. So you see, my mom was saying, human beings aren't on different teams, are they? I figured my mom had it bad enough with her lungs being squashed without having her heart crushed too. So I just said, sure, I guess. Thanks for explaining that. I just picked up my drawings and I erased the lines on both sides of my mom. I redrew them so they went in instead of out in the middle. And even though I usually like to draw things the true way they are, then I signed my drawing and I gave it to her. Anyway, I said, I still don't know what I want the baby to be. Just as well, my mother said, we don't get to decide anyway. She looked at my drawing and smiled. I appreciate the waist, she said. If we were on teams, Clementine, I'd make you the captain of my team. Just then, Snap Pea woke up from his nap, and my mother went in to get him. I'm gonna check on my apple tree, I called out. I filled up my watering can and I left. In the lobby, I found my father cleaning out the display case. I put the watering can down. What are we decorating for this month, Dad? Oh, April is jam-packed, my dad said. It's National Poetry Month, National Welding Month, National Humor Month, and a whole bunch more, my dad said. It's a tough choice. So, Dad, what did you decide? My dad pointed to a cardboard box on the floor next to a pile of plastic branches. It was full of brown plastic nuts. Hold on, I'm just letting my dog inside. He's very hot. So, the Dad said, it's National Pecan Month. Thanks for waiting, he was getting hot. Pecans get their own month, I said. The pecan is the only nut tree native to North America, said Dad. Of course, it gets its own month. Its own day, too. The 14th, is National Pecan Day. My dad handed me his list of holidays. Besides the monthly ones, he decorates for some of the daily ones, too. He lets me choose one each month. April is packed, I said, and confusing. The 4th is Tell a Lie Day, but the 30th is National Honesty Day. I read down the list. As usual, the not choosing part was the worst. Blame Someone Else Day, Juggler's Day, and Cheese Ball Day. Oh my gosh, they were really all hard to pass up. But then I found the perfect one. April 8th is National Draw a Bird Day. I'll do that one. We got to work sticking the nuts onto the branches. Just as I hung up, pecans are popping sign, the elevator gears whirred behind us. Whirr. I dropped the tape and spun around because elevator doors are like game show prize doors. Until they open, you never know what valuable stuff is hiding behind the elevator doors. Okay, fine. In our building, it's usually the same old people riding up and down from their condos. But once in a while, I thought I recognized a man from, post office most wanted poster. And once, I definitely saw a woman carrying a mannequin's leg in a grocery bag. Also, I watch the elevator doors because sometimes it is Mitchell who comes out, which does N-O-T mean that Mitchell is my boyfriend. And this time, it was Mitchell. He was smiling even harder than usual when he got out of the elevator. Then I saw who was with him. Hey, what are you doing here? I asked. Stuff, Mitchell said. I was asking Waylon, I said. Waylon, what are you doing here? Stuff, Waylon said, glancing up at Mitchell and covering a giggle. A couple of months ago, when Waylon was over to work on our science project together, I introduced Waylon to Mitchell. Since then, they've been getting together all the time. They act like they have this big secret project going. But I know that all it is baseball. Waylon is teaching Mitchell baseball. He's teaching him the science-ness of it, and Mitchell is teaching him how to play. Waylon and Mitchell high-five their mitts. We're not on teams, you know, I said. Yeah, we are, said Mitchell. Team Vector. He and Waylon bumped mitts again, and then they left. And here's a picture of that. Waylon and Mitchell coming off the elevator. You're not on a team together against me, I said to myself. The elevator doors opened again. This time, it was my mother. and Swiss chard. Mom charged over to take a closer look at our decorations. Then she grabbed hold of her hair and shook her head as if she was so upset that her neck couldn't even do the job for her. "What on earth? Never seen anything. A lobby full of plastic," she sputtered. "I know," my dad said. "It's so beautiful, I'm practically speechless. National Pecan Month might be my finest creation." "Where did you even get plastic pecans?" my mom asked. She shuddered and backed away from the display case because she feels about plastic the way Margaret feels about germs. My dad beamed. "It wasn't easy. Let me tell you, I've been searching for years. First I tried." My mom put both her hands up. "Never mind, I can't bear to hear it. But please, how about a bowl of actual pecans? If it's pecan month, how about putting out a bowl of real, crack them, and eat them actual nuts? Isn't that a better way to celebrate? I could go to the store right now and buy some." And there's Clementine's mom, going all earthy and crunchy again. "Good idea," my dad said to Mom. He put a hand on my shoulder and picked up my brother. "I've got these 2 nuts. You go get us some actual pecans." "Are you going to start decorating the lobby with real things now?" I asked when my mom was gone. "What about the fire codes, Dad?" He smiled down at me. "Probably not, but your mom was about to go all crunchy on us, and it's a beautiful day out, and I thought she would enjoy a walk. Besides, a bowl of nuts is a really nice idea. People will eat them." "Dad, why do you call it going crunchy when Mom gets like that?" My dad sat down on the lobby bench with coleslaw on his lap and patted the space between him. Did I ever tell you the story of how I first fell in love with your mother?" There's a picture, her little brother, Clementine, and her dad. "Well," he said, "I fell in love." Oh, did I ever tell you the story? I sat down because my dad has about 100 stories of how I fell in love with your mother that day. It's so funny, and all the stories are good. "Well," he said, "we were talking to some friends outside the library. Her hair was flying around and her arms were waving in the air. Your mother was so worked up, she was practically levitating. She looked so pretty, I could barely pay attention to what she was saying. I just knew that it was something about a big problem of food not being crunchy enough. I don't really see how the world would be a better place with crunchier food, but I fell in love with your mother that day." "But Dad," I reminded him, "what about the time she made you empty the vacuum cleaner bag because she thought you'd sucked up an ant?" "I thought you fell in love with her then. And what about when she spit the cherry pits?" "Well, sure," my dad said. "I fell in love with your mom hundreds of times." All right, that was the end of chapter 3. I hope you enjoyed it. Clementine and the Spring Trip. And I will be reading chapter 4 next. So I hope you enjoyed it. Like I just said, it's good to say it again. And my name's Kelly, and I will talk to you soon for chapter 4. Bye. Enjoy your day.